Hello, today we are going to be working on the torso for Hedot. We won't be completing the torso in this video because there's a lot to take in, so I'm going to break it down into a couple of smaller chunks. So to make Hedot's torso you will need a 4-inch ATB, not the one with the sides cut out unless you want to do that and change his torso, and you'll need a 3-inch ATB. I'll start off by explaining how the 4-inch ATB goes together. So you will have 2 completely symmetrical pieces and 4 that are only symmetrical one way, so they've got 2 square bits and 2 small bits on. Okay, so for your ATB to go together, if you take one of your symmetrical pieces, you need to look at which side your squares are going, because we're going to do chasing like we did with the head. So my squares are here. On the next piece, the squares are on this side. So my squares are here. They're going to go around this way. And on this one, the squares are here. Oops, try again. They're going to go around this way. And then your totally symmetrical piece goes on the top. Okay, for whatever reason, I decided that Hedot's arms need to be able to move. I'm not sure why. I'm probably going to overcomplicate things, and I'm not sure if I can actually do this because I've never done it before, but we're going to try. So for this reason, I have a hole just here. His arms will be like this. These aren't glued together. This is 3 1-inch ATBs. So we're not going to glue this together just yet because there's things that need to be done. Let me just try and explain things to you. His arms will sit sort of like this, but they'll be able to move on each side. And in order to do that, I'm using these. So that's M4 screws. Now mine are only 20mm, which means they won't go through all the way on the arms. That they're ones that I've got left over from a previous project, and I don't really want to go out and buy some more, so I'm going to see if I can work out how to use these. So in that packet you get screws, you get the nuts, and you get the washers. I'm actually going to use 2 washers per arm, but we're not doing arms today, it's just to explain why I'm doing certain things. Okay, in order to get the correct positioning for my arm, let me turn this up this way, might be easier. I decided I wanted mine to be level with the bottom of his torso. Okay, you could have the arm sitting as lot lower, it's up to you, that's just the positioning of mine. And in order to get the screw through the arm and into the box, I had to work out how the holes were going to work. So I've done one side just to show you. Now I learnt from my previous video to use a pencil because I can rub them out, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So take your ATB, it's going to be awkward because it's not glued together at this point. I've drawn an up arrow on this side, doesn't matter which side you choose, and then on the opposite side, so this side, I'm going to draw another up arrow. So you've got an up arrow there, round to the other side you've got an up arrow there. It's just so that when I make my hole, I know that the hole on this side will match the hole on this side, because you're going to have to take the pieces apart now. So let's dismantle. And we're going to take the two with the arrows on. Now I did this side, as I said already, because I wanted to speed things up, so I'll explain how the positioning works. So, looks like a load of gobbledygook at the moment. First thing I did was I lined this up, and I knew I wanted it to sit like this, so I need a line that is 1 inch from the top. So this will be the top of my ATB when it sits on his torso. Measure down from one of the teeth, because that's the very top. Try using inches. So I'm going to put a mark at 1 inch and another mark at 2 inches. That's because that will sit between those two marks. I'm going to do the same again over here, so working from the top of one of the teeth. Let's come a bit closer. I'm going to put a mark here at 1 inch and another at 2 inches. And I'm going to join those lines. It's very windy here. I'm not sure if you'll hear the wind on the video. It's extremely windy. Okay. So I had my arrow to tell me which way up. I've drawn one line 1 inch from the top and another line 2 inches from the top. To get this centralised on my ATB, and what I did is I measured 1.5 inches from each side. So you've got 4 inches, you're going to take off 1 inch, that leaves you with 3 inches. Half of 3 inches is 1.5. So that's how I worked that out. So I'm marking here, let's work on this line. Working on this line here, the middle line, I'm going to mark at 1.5 inches and again at 2.5 inches. And then working between two of the teeth up here, I'm marking at 1.5 inches and 2.5 inches. And then I'm going to join these lines. So now you should have something that looks like this. Okay. Last lot of drawing. I'm lining up my ruler from this corner, I'll show you on here. So I'm going to draw a line that goes from here to here and another one that goes from here to here, just to find the centre of that cube. And that cross there is where my hole will go. See it on this one. Okay, so positioning of the hole sorted out. This is how I decided what size hole to use on the wood. So a couple of things to talk to you about first. I'm using an M4 screw. I don't know what the actual width across there is, so what I did was I looked at what tools I had for making holes. I've got a Crocodile 2 which I prefer. It does 2 sizes of hole. See, I hope you can see this. It does a 3/16. Let's take that out of the way. It does a 3/16 and it does 1/8. Okay. You can also buy single punches like this that have got various size holes on them, but my Crocodile is still my favourite. I've had this for a while and I do use it on a few things, but you can't beat a Crocodile. Okay, my Crocodile does 2 holes, as I said. In order to decide which hole I needed in my wood, I punched both sizes of hole and then try to put the screw through. Now it won't go through that one, but it will quite comfortably go through this one, and there's not too much wiggle room, so it's quite secure. So I punched the 3/16 hole into this one. I'm going to do the same again. So line up your punch with your cross. I don't know why I spin the wood, it's just a habit. Just stick that in the bin. Okay, so now I have the holes that I need for the arms. I can erase the lines. Okay, as I said before, He-Bot's torso will also be storage, and my plan for his torso is to put a drawer in there, so that's what we'll be working on next. So I partially reassembled the 4-inch ATD. So you've got the holes for the arms here and here. I'm not gluing at this point because there is still more to be done, and it's just to show you positioning for right now. This is one of the symmetrical pieces, the other one is here, so this will form the front of his torso, and I'll explain why I've got that out in a second. So this is the 3-inch ATD. You can see here there's 2 symmetrical pieces, and then you have 4 pieces that have the, I'll show you, big square, small bit, yeah, and as per usual we're just going to chase it round. So taking one of my symmetrical pieces, you're going to put it together, so big square this side, it's on the left hand side and it's going to be the left every time. So that just slots together like that. As I said, we're only making a drawer, so I'm not putting the top piece on. So I'm just going to attempt to put this together with an elastic band, just while I'm showing you what I want to do. It's always easier when you're not on camera. Okay, so there's my 3-inch ATD, no lid, as I said it will be a drawer, and the way that this will sit is in here with this piece, which is one of the symmetrical pieces, the other one is on this side as I said, and that will go on the front here as the front of the drawer, and it will sit sort of like that, but in the middle. Now obviously we've got to join those together, we need everything to line up correctly, so what we are going to do is this. Take your pencil and we're going to go from this corner to this corner, this corner to this corner to find your centre. I won't be drawing my line all the way across, I'm just going to do it roughly where I think the middle is. And again this way. And there's my centre point. Now to join this ATD to this piece, I'll be using glue. I'll also be using a doorknob, just a cheap one that I found. If you're going to places like B&Q, Wilkinson's, Dunhill Mills, anywhere like that, Wickes, you can buy single doorknobs. If you're really lucky, go around the charity shops, car boot sales, that sort of things, you might get them even cheaper. So this is one that I've got, and it just so happens that the screw is the same size as the one I was using for the arms, so that helps out. So this is how it will all go together. I'm going to punch a hole at the centre point. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in place on the front of the ATB to get my positioning. I'm going to line up the 3-inch ATB to roughly where I want it. That's right. And holding that in place, I'm using a retractable pencil. You could use a felt tip or a pen. I'm just going to mark on the 3-inch ATB, which has just collapsed on me. In there. Doesn't matter because I'm going to take it apart anyway. So there's my hole there, which corresponds with that one on there. So when this goes together, those holes now line up, so I can show you by, if I push that through, it comes out that side. And I can screw that in place. That my screw's too long, so I'll show you how to sort that problem out in a second. That's how that will look inside the drawer. I'll show you the right way up. So this will be the bottom of the drawer. That's how that sits with the screw in place. So in order to get my screw to the right length, I'm going to have to cut it. This takes a bit of trial and error. I only need about half of that length. So there's two ways you can do this. You can take a hacksaw to it, or you can get a crimping tool. And my crimping tool came from Wilkinson's. I think I paid about £4.50. I've had it for a while, I've only used it a few times. Now the screws that were used for the arms that I showed you are M4. So the way that this works is you put your screw in to the distance that you want, and I'm thinking about halfway down. Sorry, I should show you. There's two holes, which you can only see when it's fully open. So you fully open the crimping tool, put your screw into the M4 screw hole, get it down to the distance that you want, and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until you cut through it, which takes a lot of effort, I won't lie to you. So at this point I have now used a crimp to get rid of the dip that I don't need. So that dip can go in a bin, or it could be added to a Nixdedia canvas or something, but this is what I'm left with. There's a slightly sharp bit at the end, so be careful with that. And the way that this will work, because I showed you before, I need to rub that off, but we'll do that in a second. Line up your holes. This will go through this way, and then you need to screw on the doorknob, just in case that disagrees. I'm going to use a screwdriver. If I've cut this to the right length, bearing in mind I only guessed. Yay! Ta-da! So this will fit onto your drawer. I took this apart earlier and I put it back from. 1 second. I'd knocked it over and it fell apart, so I put it back together wrong. Okay. Base piece. Chase that way. That way. This is a lot easier when you're gluing stuff together, but right now I'm just showing you. And that last bit will go that way. And there's the drawer. Okay, so what you do at this point now is you glue your drawer. Glue these two bits together. Glue your drawer together, making sure you've got everything the right way up. I'm just going to do that. If you're planning to tape the inside of your 4-inch ATB, you need to do that now before you glue that I'll be painting. So I'm not worrying about that too much. Just a bit of glue. Oh, glue everywhere now. Just 1 second. Dusty baby wipes. So that's been glued together. I'm going to put the screw back in there to tighten that up. And obviously we want this section level, so make sure that's straight. The only reason I'm using glossy accents for this bit is because it's got the fine nozzle on. I don't have that on my wood glue. I have ordered some fine nozzle applicators though, so that'll make that easier. Last piece in place. Right, I am not gluing the 4-inch ATB together at this point, and the reason being is we've still got to put the arms on. That might then cut in some more screws, and it's so much easier to work that sort of thing out when you haven't got the top onto here. If you've only got this little 4-inch gap to reach into to work stuff out, it's going to be very difficult. So we'll stop there for this video. Hopefully it's all made sense. We've got the holes in place for the arms. We've got the front drawer assembled. In the next video we'll sort out the arms and we'll start decorating the torso. we'll do the legs and his butt in a separate video, and then after that it's just the finishing off. So we're more than halfway there now. So thanks for watching. Sorry for dropping stuff, not having stuff. That I'll have another video for you soon. Bye.